What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode 76 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the British Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one. And as always, if you are new around here, then make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, Silverstone will play host then to round 9 of the 2024 season, season 5 of Ultimate Career. And obviously history for us, this of course being our home Grand Prix. Victory here in the past, heartbreak last season, of course, our retirement mid-race. And obviously from there, announcing our departure from Mercedes at the end of season 4, but hopefully we can try and put another win on the board at our home Grand Prix to go the victory in 2022. Of course, leading the championship rivalry against Lando Norris, need 27 more points to win that. Of course, Norris is close to us in the last few rounds, so got to keep our eye out in the standings because both Norris and Verstappen are quite close to us now. In terms of R&D, we've got 971 points, enough to put a major chassis upgrade on the car coming before Belgium's after the next race in Hungary. So this is the one upgrade for now. And Ferrari have actually jumped us here in the R&D chart. So we now actually got the third fastest car on the grid. Red Bull's still fastest now, and Ferrari up to second. So a lack of upgrades compared to Ferrari, been making constant upgrades since China, more or less. And in terms of the World Championship standings, it's 13 points covering myself, Norris and Verstappen. Leclerc's there in 4th place on 99. Truthfully, needs a win or two to try and jump himself up into the championship hump. You could sort of call it mainly a three-way title race. I'd say it could be 4 at best if Ferrari get their act together, thanks to being the second fastest car now. And that's more or less all that needs to be done here. So hopefully things will go well for us today. And our objective is just trying to increase our lead in the World Championship. But without further ado, it's time to head over to Silverstone and get the Grand Prix weekend underway with qualifying.
Welcome along, everybody, to a venue that was built for speed. Once an airfield, now one of the finest racetracks in the world. It's qualifying day here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix.
Here we go then, qualifying about to get underway for the 9th race of 2024, the British Grand Prix. But before we get on the racetrack here, unfortunately we had an issue on the fuel system, so I've got a fault there that will keep us in the garage for the first few minutes of the session. But we're not going to think about that too much. Once we get on the circuit, we'll jump right into our first flying laps onto Hamilton Straight to get our first qualifying run underway. Of course, Silverstone remodified on F124, so expect some changes compared to this race in 2023. So through turn 2 now and through towards turn number 3, the right-hander of Village. Of course, Village immediately followed with a loop at turn 4, losing the car slightly out of turn 3. So keep an eye on that occasional lack of rear grip if she'll be over-rev things on corner exits. But out to turn 4, now towards the left-hander of Aintree for turn 5, and onto the DRS straight, the Wellington straight for the first time. Of course, one of 2 DRS zones, the other one being the hangar straight at the end of the second sector. In terms of our first sector, 27.8 on the board. It's not a bad start. Work obviously to be done over the course of the rest of this first lap and into our second one as well. But further on into that first lap, pushing down the hangar straight, going towards Stowe for the first turn today. Into the right-hander we go through turn 15, heading down towards the large chicane, turn 16 and 17 on the circuit. It's been a decent first lap, of course. Definitely time to be found over the course of the lap as a whole, but got into these last few corners, trying to avoid the sausage curves waiting for you there through 16 and 17, and towards Vale off the last corner to complete our first lap. 128.3 on the board, so puts us P4. Not a bad lap to start things off, and compared to who we stack up here, so behind Norris, Leclerc and Verstappen, of course, all of our main title challengers. Verstappen 4/10 clear of Leclerc, so plenty of work for everyone else to try and do to close in, as Norris then goes faster, 127.7 on the board, so we're now almost 6/10 back from pole here. But into our second lap, purple first sector, looking for a purple second sector 2 as we make our way out of Magnussen Beckett through Chapel, turn 12, DRS back in play for the hangar straight, and purple second sector 2, improving on tyre about a quarter of a second up, but right now, that's not enough for pole position. It's going to come down to this last sector, I think, as we're in P10 right now in the order, into Stowe for the last time, improving by 3/10, almost 4 here, coming towards turn 16, once again into the final chicane we come, looking for a good entry this time, avoiding those curbs, making our way through 17 now, out by half a second, and losing time on corner exit, sliding there through turn 17, out to turn 18, only 3/10 improvement, and it's P6 for us on the starting grid. So unfortunate that we couldn't be higher up the grid for our home Grand Prix, but it's a decent start. We'll just try and take a stronger start in the Grand Prix.
Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Norris on pole from Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, and we qualify in 6th place. 4 Britons in the top 6. A fantastic chance for an all-British podium here. We've got every chance of winning the race ourselves. Can we try and notch our second home victory in Ultimate Career? Time to find out. Time now for the British Grand Prix.
Welcome everyone as you join us at a former Second World War aircraft base, now converted into one of the great motor racing tracks. Britain is one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship, and long may that continue. This is Silverstone, and this is the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Cohen, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Perez, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Ocon, Stroll, Ricciardo, Bottas, Albon, Gasly, Joe, Sargent, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y, or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
Here we go then, no more talking, time for action for the British Grand Prix from P6 on the starting grid, our home Grand Prix, but our rivals, Norris, Verstappen and Leclerc, all in front of us. Strategy, we're not going to play any games today, keep it nice and basic, soft the first 12 laps, and run a set of mediums to check a flag, and that should hopefully be enough.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
So Norris leads Verstappen and Russell to turn 1. In terms of starting tyres, everyone on the C3, the soft tyre, except for Valtteri Bottas, has gone for the C2. So what sort of games is the Sauber driver looking to play in the first part of this race?
As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can. And they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that, within the points.
So reminder then, 13 points covering myself, Norris and Verstappen in the World Championship, and those two start on the front row. Leclerc needs a victory to get himself further into title contention. He lines up in 4th place alongside Russell, and we are at P6 alongside our old teammate Lewis Hamilton. The weather isn't fantastic, but hopefully should brighten up over the course of the race to take our spot here on the starting grid. The last few cars getting into place here. Sargent and Hülkenberg once again for the second race in a row on row 10 to get things started here. 26 laps of Silverstone coming your way as the lights come on for the British Grand Prix. Round 9 of the season. Norris on pole, Verstappen to his right. Lights up, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. Racing here at Silverstone. Norris with a good start over Verstappen as he goes down towards Abbey for the first time. Leclerc holding up Hamilton, passing both Mercedes cars and passing Leclerc for good measure into 3rd place then in the first couple of corners of this Grand Prix, and down the inside of Verstappen now. Looking for P2 into village for the first time and looking to clear Verstappen into turn 4. We can clear Verstappen into turn 4. So Norris then might have led away off the start. We've taken 4 places already here, and this car is dangerously quick. Lando Norris, our teammate, our next target on the run down towards Brooklands for the first time in this Grand Prix. No DRS in play yet for this first lap. We're going into turn 6 now, trying to close the gap on our teammate, of course, fighting for points in the World Championship with our championship rival, our main rival here, going through turn 7, through Luffield we come. Norris, though, holding the early lead. Verstappen in 3rd place behind us, Leclerc 4th, and Russell in P5. So overall, a good start. We could get better here. Out of Chapel we come, down the hanger straight for the first time, down towards Stowe, and using our battery to try and close on Norris a bit more, going down towards the right-hander at turn 15, closing in on our teammate, making that move to the inside if we can, looking to lead this first lap, making the pass now, and almost clearing Norris, but getting the job done on corner exit, so into P1 then, so 5 places gained on the first lap. A fantastic start. Couldn't have asked for anything better here, so we come through to complete the first lap in the lead. Norris in 2nd and Verstappen in 3rd place, so gaining points then on our 2 main rivals in the World Championship. Lap 1 complete, 1:33.3, the fastest lap to kick things off, but onto the hanger straight on lap 2. Norris making his move, trying to get the lead back from us, going up towards Stowe, making the pass on the left-hand side, pulling clear of us, going into the right-hand of Verstappen, trying the outside too. A bit of tyre smoke there from Norris. We hit him going through turns 15, so back off it and not trying to take the place away from him for fear of potential warning or a penalty there. So keeping things as they are here and keeping behind our teammate for now, but right on his tail with every chance to try and get him back with DRS onto lap 3 now, and down the Wellington straight once again. DRS in play for us and using slightly battery as well, going down towards turn number 6 once again, making our move slightly to the inside of Norris, going in towards Brooklands, side by side with our teammate and pulling clear of him for Luffield. Back in the race lead then, Norris in 2nd, and again Verstappen still P3, Leclerc still in P4. So the 4 main championship protagonists all there, nose to tail, as they make our way through Woodcote and down towards Copse for the 3rd time in this British Grand Prix. Norris not going for a move as of yet, so we'll keep ourselves nice and calm, going through towards turn 9, but keeps us under continued pressure here. And onto lap 5, he tries to make a move, going into Luffield there, through the right handle we come. An objective here to let Norris past us on track by lap 8. And honestly, it's the third time this season they've asked us, and they should get the message by now. It's not happening. This is a title fight. We're racing for a world championship here. So Norris is going to stay right where he is in P2. We're going to hold the lead as best we can here. But down the hanger straight, Norris and Verstappen both have runs. So as Norris makes his move to the inside, Verstappen will go around the outside of Norris to make that pass, and he'll get past him to postpone the objective. So fortunately, we'll need to sit there and wait for that to run out. We're going to maintain our spot for now. Verstappen fighting Norris in P2 going into turn 16, keeping our lead nice and healthy here. So Verstappen makes the pass, takes second place from Norris, and the 1-2 is gone to McLaren. On to lap 6 now. Verstappen may go for his move for the race lead here on the run down towards turn 6, so down towards Brooklands once again. Verstappen trying the inside there, making his move underneath us, going into the left hand. We have to give him room for the corner and go up towards Luffield now. Verstappen takes the lead away, giving him a bit too much room there, but sneaking in back on the inside, and the AI always let you go there, going through turn 7. So out to Luffield we come, still side by side with Max, but not a fantastic exit to go through turn 8 now. Verstappen getting it in front of us and goes back and time right there in front, and lucky to avoid wing damage there. Contact between myself and Verstappen. Norris and Leclerc side by side behind us. Leclerc threatening but falls out of it. Leclerc stays in P4 for now. Norris stays in P3. Can we try and get Max Verstappen back to the race lead now? Through Magnussen and Beckett we come, and running right on the tail of the Red Bull here. Let's try and make a move for the race lead back out of Magnussen and Beckett and towards Chapel once again. Looking for a good run with DRS down this back straight, going down towards Stowe once more. Closing in now, making our move to the outside of the racetrack and go down to the inside now. Verstappen covers us off for the outside, going to try the inside now into 15 and making the move stick up the inside and taking the lead back from Verstappen. Norris still there P3, Leclerc in P4, and George Russell in P5 as of right now. So things staying as they are more or less in the first couple of laps of this Grand Prix. Pushing further on now onto lap 7. Verstappen going it for it once again here, looking for the race lead back through turn 6 and through turn 7 once more. He's on our outside there, still trying to find a way around us as they make our way out of turn 7 and towards 8 once again, clearing him, almost clearing him, sliding there out of turn 7. Verstappen goes right back around us, retakes the race lead from us once again, and Norris trying on the outside towards Cops 2. Going to hold him off narrowly here, going up towards the right hand, and might try and move to Verstappen if we can. Slight contact there, but running ourselves back into the race lead for a second, and Verstappen is still right down our left, going towards Magnussen and Beckett once again, side by side this time, with the Dutchman going through this complex series of corners. Verstappen nipping back in front. We'll get DRS here out of Chapel and down towards Stowe once again, sliding through turn 13, but on corner exit at 14, looking for another good run here and closing the Dutchman all the time. It's going to save some batteries. Leclerc and Norris fight behind us for P3. Norris taking Leclerc for third place, and we take the race lead back from Verstappen as Leclerc fighting with Norris still. Might try and fight Verstappen as we get close enough too. Verstappen on our outside here going in towards turn 16, and Leclerc now trying, we've forced Verstappen out there, and Leclerc trying for second place out of turn 17. So back in the lead now, going to try and bolt as best we can, try and build a lead here, but Leclerc is passing Max now for P2 in the running order. Leclerc in second, Verstappen third, and Norris in fourth place. On to lap 9 now, and Leclerc is on our tail looking for Stowe once again. DRS in play for the Monegasque in the Ferrari, pulls to the left hand side of the racetrack, looking for P1 back, takes P1 for the first time today. Charles Leclerc now in the lead. We sit second, Verstappen third, Norris fourth, and Russell still sat there front row seat for this in P5. So Leclerc in front for now, going to try and save some battery. Verstappen tries to challenge us going into 16 as we always run into Leclerc there, going in towards the braking zone, and lucky to avoid hitting him as Verstappen on our outside that will clear him out of turn 17 and sliding through turn 18 there. So on to lap 10 now and into second place. Leclerc 8 tenths in front now, building an advantage. He's pushed on to lap 11, a lap later now, and onto the DRS trick once again towards turn 6. Verstappen a second behind us, but our focus is all on the driver in front of us, running towards Brooklands once again, and looking to make a move if we can on Leclerc, trying the inside there, couldn't quite sneak in as we go towards Luffield once again, right behind the Monegasque and pulling to the inside of him going through turn 7, and on corner exit, still side by side, couldn't quite get in front of Leclerc. He made it back in front of us for Woodcote here and towards Cops once again, so Leclerc back in the race lead narrowly, but a fantastic fight in the making. 1v1 for the race lead here, and down towards Stowe once again, making a move to the inside now on Leclerc, going side by side with the Ferrari up towards the braking zone and pulling clear of him, out braking Leclerc for turn 15 to back in the race lead once more then, and nearing of course our first pit stop of the Grand Prix. The soft tyres almost running out here as Leclerc threatens us a bit too deep. They're going to 16, the yellow flag behind us, that's right behind us. Where's Verstappen and Norris gone? Both of them at the top 5 here. I don't believe it. I think they've actually come together at this point as our pit window opens for lap 12. Yellow flag, and they're both still stuck there. What's just happened to Verstappen and Norris, our two title rivals? May have just taken each other out of this race. Well, I say out of the race, but they're down the order now. Neither one of them retiring officially, but going side by side here up towards Stowe. Norris with DRS on Verstappen, those two fighting with P3. And I think Norris wanted to pit here and Max didn't, so they could have come together and run each other off onto the grass. So Verstappen off the grass, Norris spins back out onto the circuit, and from here, one of them is trying to get to the pit lane, and one of them is trying to get back to the racetrack. So both of them stopping every time an AI car comes past in the interest of safety there. So both of them now down to P19 and P20. Neither one of them out of the race here, but now quite far back. Max has got a lot of work to do, and Norris has got a pit stop to make now. So big opportunity for us to try and clinch some more points over our two championship opponents here in the standings. Push on to lap 12 now. Leclerc flipping us. Yellow flag behind us. Looks like Sergio Perez has got a problem here. The Red Bull icon is slowing on the MFD on the minimap in our bottom left, and that's a poor race here for Red Bull. It's gone from bad to worse for them as one of their drivers now retiring, and the likelihood of Red Bull scoring points now very slim as Leclerc threatens us on the run towards Stowe. Yellow flag is out behind us. Sergio Perez out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately, and as I say, Red Bull's day going from bad to worse here at Silverstone. So McLaren still have a car left in the race in terms of trying to win this thing, despite Norris being down the order. Red Bull have got Verstappen in P19 and Sergio Perez now gone from this race. So unfortunate for Red Bull, no points likely on the board for them today as Perez looks to try and take Magnussen Beckett's, but then pulls off to the right, and that's the end of his Grand Prix. Things over for him at the 12 lap mark. But in terms of our case now, coming into the pit lane finally for our first stop of this Grand Prix at the halfway stage. Medium tyres going on for the rest of the race, but everyone coming behind us. Leclerc, Hamilton and Alonso, the top four, going into the pit lane. Russell and Stroll both stay out. The team gets to work changing the tyres, but everyone's coming here. Big traffic jam, 2.4 second stop. We'll have to wait here for everyone to get through, and because we're the furthest down the pit lane compared to the four cars around us, we're going to emerge in P16 here, but obviously getting a few places back. Yuki Tsunoda's got in front of us there in the RB, so we've lost a huge chunk of time there compared to the three cars who came in right behind us. So Alonso, Hamilton and Leclerc all coming off better here, and it's frustrating because the pit stop was good. There was no issues with the stop, but thanks to Garrett's placement, we now find ourselves a few places back in the running order, and crucially behind an RB now, which is not something I expected to say over the course of this race. So let's get to welcome to getting around Tsunoda here on the run down towards Brooklands. Once again, to make a late dive here down the inside of Yuki, going in towards turn 6 and through towards Luffield now, and up into P12 once again. And Leclerc, our next target now. Of course, they're going to try and fight their way back in the points here. Verstappen and Norris both made stops, and both of them down the order here. So likelihood of those two scoring points very slim indeed. On to lap 17 now, a few laps later, and still chasing Leclerc, Alonso and Hamilton, but finally might be able to get ourselves into DRS range here as we go through turn 4. DRS is there for us, so our first use of it in this little chase for the race lead here. Hamilton in front, Alonso second, and Leclerc in third place. We are closing here, but it's not enough right now as Leclerc threatens Alonso for second place. But a lap later, we are now right on the tail of the Ferrari, going out of Aintree and making our way towards Brooklands once more. So this is it then, the four cars fighting for the race victory. Got half chance here of at least one British driver winning this Grand Prix and trying to get us both on the podium here for the home fans. To make our way through Luffield once again, right on the tail of Leclerc. But on to lap 18 now, Leclerc passing Alonso for P2, so Hamilton pulls away a little bit here, and Alonso now right in front of us. He's our next target with 8 more laps to go in this Grand Prix. Objective failed, no focus on that now, all about trying to get around the cars in front of us. So through Abbey here and up towards Farm turn 2, and looking to make a move for Village turn 3, and down the inside of Alonso into the braking zone, making our move from the Aston Martin much faster as our McLaren compared to the Aston, and still side by side through turn 4, but on the outside looking for the better exit off of turn number 4 and making the move stick, and into third place now Leclerc and then Hamilton, our next two targets in front of us. But the chance to win this race is still on, but further on into the Grand Prix now, on to lap 22, and Leclerc in the race lead now. Hamilton our target in P2, but Leclerc a lot faster in the second stint. Hamilton our focus now. We try and clear Lewis quickly, we'll try and get around up to Leclerc and try and make a pass here. So down the inside of Hamilton, going into turn 6 once again. Hamilton might come back out on the outside though, won't do it, but Leclerc is still on pace and still trying to pull away from us here. He's almost 9/10 in front of us. Was that the chance to win the race out the window, because Leclerc is a lot faster than us unfortunately, and looks like he's trying to pull away this thing here. On to that 25, he's got a 2.8 second lead as Hamilton makes the pass for second place there. So once again, for the second Grand Prix in a row, we find ourselves behind our former teammate Lewis Hamilton in the last few laps of the Grand Prix. Of course, last time Lewis got us going onto the last lap in Spain. This time he's in front of us, going to make a move to the inside at turn 16. Won't do it yet. We're going to stay where we are. I'm going to try and play a bit sneaky here and try and go for a move going down towards Stowe on the last lap. So bell lap here, one to go at Silverstone. We're looking for P2 in this Grand Prix. Leclerc seems on for the win here towards turn 1 for the last time, and through Magnussen Beckett's we come into the second sector and looking to build up for one last big push off of Chapel and up towards Stowe. The DRS will be in play for us, battery used for us to save a bit over the course of the lap, and Hamilton our last target here, so closing in for one final time up towards Stowe, move to the outside, breezing past our former teammate. Alonso now trying to take him on around the outside of P3, Hamilton going from P2 to potentially P4 here in the last stage of this Grand Prix. Leclerc in towards turns at 17 and 18 for the last time. We come to the last chicane ourselves, and Alonso looks to have got Hamilton here as Leclerc comes to the last corner to win the British Grand Prix. Second win of the season for him at Ferrari, and it's second place for us, and Alonso does indeed beat Hamilton for third place. So Hamilton off the podium in the end after being in the chance to win this thing about 8 laps ago. So honestly, Frustrated we couldn't win the Grand Prix, unfortunately, but you know what? Verstappen and Norris both didn't score today, so big points game for us in the World Championship, and our second title is very much in reach.
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
The race victory and fastest lap as well today really shows the level of dominance that this driver had over the opposition. Dominance from the start to finish, and as for the rest of the competition to try and catch them now.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So Leclerc takes his second win in 3 races, then victory in Canada, and now victory at Silverstone too. Second place for us, and Alonso home in 3rd place. Another podium for him and for Aston Martin. But crucially, that Verstappen-Norris collision is the talking point to take from this Grand Prix. Those two have cost themselves massively, to the point where Leclerc may even jump them for second place in the standings. Who knows, but it's going to help us increase our lead massively here. Let's have a look at the final results from this race and where that leaves us in terms of both World Championships.
It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
So Leclerc from myself to Alonso, then Hamilton finishes in 4th, Yuki Tsunoda takes away 5th place, fantastic result for him, Ocon 6th, Stroll 7th, Steins to 8th, Magnussen 9th, and Daniel Ricciardo takes the last point at the expense of George Russell in P11, but crucially, tough days for Lando Norris, who finishes P16, Perez P20, Verstappen P14, and Russell there in P11 too. Russell fails to score in the end. So the World Championship puts us in 24 points in front of Charles Leclerc in 2nd place now. Norris in P3, Verstappen in P4. What was a 13-point gap between the top 3 is now a 31-point gap between the top 4. So massive gains for us today. And McLaren 105 points clear in the standings of Ferrari in 2nd place now. Red Bull 3rd and Mercedes still there in 4th place. And only kicked Sauber yet to score this season. But guys, that'll do it for this episode of the F1 Ultimate Career Series. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F1 content. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.